And what's her name at the clothing store? She did her own windows and stuff, which was very nice. But
The Centennial Garden.
we did some of that. Yes, I mean, we did more of that, and that is something that I would really, to me, that's a vocal point in vocal, there that you see, and it needs to be decorated to. I don't mean you got to go all out. If we could just get lights that go in the grass or something, or you know, flowers or something, just something. What was there was simple, and we just have to get something that we know that we can tie it down and keep it. I don't think you could put snowmen or anything; they would walk away.
Cameron has all the supplies. Yay. They're all boxed in boxes. Okay.
Thank you.
And it's a tremendous amount.
Yay. Right, that was in both of my cars in my carport. I actually can sit in the back seat of my car if I want to. I had it in my trunk, the back seats of both cars. It was everywhere.
So how much it is I have a van with stow and go seats that were all stowed and go, and it was full from the ceiling to the floorboard from front to back. So that's how much is down there.
Awesome. So what is the suggestion that we do then make, are we still with the flower arrangements and the wreath and?
But what do y'all think? Would you like something on the building? I mean, what do you want to just have? I mean, just like I said, do things we have some scarecrows and stuff. We can put those in these brick gardens if we wanted to, and what we did was time in the trees, the ones that I did. And the others were in front of buildings that someone was always there, and it would be harder to get out. And they didn't bother the leaves either, but it's just I just think it would be a lot easier and more effective if we use those, and there are more of them, so you could decorate more. It may be less, but you would have more. And if we wanted to, we still have what was it, the fall sign? And what was the first one we had? Happy Halloween, or the pumpkins, and all those signs are in there. And so if you wanted to put that someplace, pick an area, or, to have those somehow. I'm just saying, but that's something. But I think but I made sure that I didn't damage anything, or, and yeah. Because I tried to rake some, because some of them needed to be cleaned. Some of them didn't have, they didn't have a lot of flowers in them. They had planted some, but they hadn't come up. And so I actually put some of the leaves and stuff that I had down in there like it was flower, to give you color. And with that, and the pumpkins and the scare, it's just simple, just something that's in season, and just have an idea as to what you.
That sounds good. So can we come up with an outline of what we want and submit it to the town for their approval? And then we'll know maybe by next month whether or not if we can do that idea.
So we
So
can
we
do
can
that,
just
but
sketch it out, for them
Yeah.
You
tonight.
don't have to do that. All you have to do is ask Evan to put it on one of the, I'm sorry, Cameron. To put it on one of the agendas when you have time, to ask the city council for permission to use the raised beds for the fall decorations. That's all.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's something, I don't know.
And it's up to y'all. I don't know.
I cannot do it. I'm assuming that at the end of the year, our money
I think we
rolled
still,
away.
I think we would still need to have a sketch of what we are asking for. That way we don't have to take so much time, with someone else trying to explain it. If it coming from the board, if we could have it already sketched out, so it could be
Well, there's not
self-explanatory
any, I don't,
what the idea is. Because
you
right
can-
now, even sitting here myself, I'm not 100% sure of exactly what we're saying. So if
did
we
you
could
not
sketch
see
it out.
any of the things that I did this year? Like down at the furniture store?
I'm
You-
just saying where we want to place them. Your
Okay, so it's not a
decorations were
sketch, you
beautiful.
just need to say the squares, the gardens on Main
The
Street,
brick
on the
squares.
blocks, from the 2 blocks that we have, basically is what we And, or if you have an idea, huh? I have some, but I don't have a lot of them. But basically, you know, the scarecrows that we have, would be filled in. Pumpkins, I mean, just things that you see. What? There's more than that.
There's
There's
more
several
down on
around.
Elm Street, but you wouldn't go all the way down. You might do that corner one where the passion.
Just one on the corner, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
oh,
not
all we
many.
need is permission to put them in any of the raised beds. That's it.
And just,
So are we all like, not, are we all on board of not using hay again? I guess is the overall.
okay, well, let me ask you this. Never,
Once we get permission, then I guess we can go from
let's
there.
say with that,
We'll
the
know
thing
what
of
what
it-
our options are.
okay, wait a minute, let's just get one thing at a time though. First of all, are we gonna be, I assume our money is gone since it's the end of the year and it has gone back into the budget.
No, 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 no. No. We still have money for this year in the budget. The budget goes through June 30.
Okay.
We've
so
got to
should-
spend our money. That is next year's budget. I'm sure in a coming meeting, we will have to prepare what we're asking for the city
Okay.
council to maybe potentially fund us next year.
Okay, 'cause
But
this is
we're
gonna be-
focused on fall, and we just spent 20 minutes talking about that, when we still have money in the budget and we have spring. So I don't,
What you gonna do for spring? I'm not doing spring.
okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay,
March.
Yeah.
but you need to get your money then.
Cause you're funded through the end of June.
Through the end of June, 1st of July, the new budget starts. So spring would be more appropriate, I guess, to discuss now.
Do you know
Um,
what our balance is in our account?
Yeah, I know what they, like $1,200 that they gave.
15.
That was
15.
And I think what else spent like four.
Or,
Oh, so we have
that's what they
$1,000
reported.
bucks.
Yeah. So, I mean,
That's not too
you know,
shabby.
If you're looking at something to buy, then just have to bring in the receipts. And I mean, I guess we can get you an accurate number like that with what it is. It's less than that little bit. You know, if you wanna start working on spring and.
Like I said, I didn't do spring. And so, I mean, in other words,
You want to work on spring? Okay.
that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so
now
what
is
we'll
we
do
need
then-
to Decide if you're gonna do spring.
We have ideas, for spring.
We'll bring
We'll-
back some. can
We'll
we do it
bring,
next
we'll
month?
bring
Like
them
I
back.
said, but
in
It's not
February.
just me. It's y'all, if y'all have ideas for spring, just put them out on the table. I mean, that's all we,
Yeah.
I think we can bring, I don't have anything formulated right now, but I'm happy to work on it and bring it back to next month's meeting. I didn't see it on the agenda.
just any
tonight.
ideas. I mean, that's the thing as to what you want to do. Just bring it forth and as far as spring, y'all didn't do any, or the city didn't do anything, did they? Did they have the Easter egg hunt and stuff? That about, there was.
That was private.
Private,
Jennifer did that.
So basically, the Halloween is the only thing that was done. Except for 2 years that I've been here is what, that was the only thing. So what I'm hearing now is that we want to extend to do various occasions.
So,
That'd be
can I-
just-
can I bring this up while, we're here? So, you know, it sounds like you have ideas that you wanna do something for every season, right?
And that's what they're asking.
No, I don't believe that's true. If I go back and go back to our minutes, we discussed asking for $1,500, $1,200 because we were going to focus on fall and spring. I sat at this very chair and I remember talking about that at nauseum. So if that was what we asked the city and we got additional money to do that, then we need to follow through with what we requested of the city to do. So therefore, we have money in the budget, so therefore we need to come up with a plan for spring.
Yeah.
And so we'll do that.
Okay, so I'll do that.
And we'll bring that back next meeting.
That you're talking about setting a meeting date for discussing these different seasons. You're talking about setting up next month to talk about spring. Maybe you wanna talk about summer in May or something like that, or in April. You know, that's more or less what I'm talking about. Is you wanna hash all these ideas of what this hay bale square is gonna look like. You know, we're not here to talk about all that today. It's more or less setting up this whole calendar year as what this is gonna look like. So we're gonna talk about the spring declaration in February meeting. We're gonna talk about the budget in March. You might miss out on summer this year, if that's the case. Create something for the budget for, all right, we did winter and spring, we wanna expand to, summer and Christmas. us now. Give us this 1,500 for winter and spring and another 1,500 for, summer and fall for summer and whatever, winter for the next year. So that's more or less what I wasn't saying we're talking about spending money right now. It's more or less just state some of the things of what specifically we're gonna talk about. So
Okay, very good. Yeah, very good.
And if you look at the calendar, it's kind of like from January to June is very like Arbor Day focused. So like the tree board side of our commission. And then from July to December is more appearance commission focused as of now.
with the same hat, the same here, appearance commission tree board. So just because we have tree board items, doesn't mean we can have appearance commission items as well. So that's just one thing to take into account.
I think it would be a good idea, just everyone just sort of think that way. It's having ideas to what you want, and you can start shopping and get things on sale. Cause that's what I did, and you did, got things dirt cheap, like
Yeah, and
50.
You know, back to the point is from now that we know that, all right,
Uh-huh.
February, we'll talk about spring.
Right, and that's what I'm saying,
From
but
now
you,
until
yeah,
February, everybody's gonna on what you all can bring to the table for decoration wise, and then we'll sit here and we'll have a powwow and talk about it, and, you know, put funds together, and then, once we get that, we start talking about the budget stuff in March, and then we'll start talking about what we spent in winter and summer, or what we spent in fall and spring, and if we're gonna continue that in winter and summer as well. I don't know if you really decorate for summer all that much, but winter.
I
you
did this
certainly
spring.
can. Downtown pretty much already decorated for winter, so. Yeah,
That's what I'm
a
saying.
topic of discussion. So like I said, a lot of what we're having the discussion for right now is set meeting things for this upcoming year. To also talk about, new things you all might be interested in. Not necessarily get into the super nitty gritty of, these things, but throwing up ideas of what type of events you all want to do, what type of outreach stuff you want to do, things along those lines. So it's putting in things into these months for the calendar that we can talk at during these meetings, or plan for future events. Like we want to have an event in the summer. All right, let's talk about it in May, or let's talk about it in April. That way, you kind of have all this stuff scoped out so that we know what we're going to talk about in these meetings as well.
right, it's a good idea. And it's,
Come next month with an idea of what to do.
Spring, yeah.
So that's what would slide into that February. It's
Mhm.
the Arbor Day discussion. Get Tim and we'll get Brandy in here, start that initial day, and we'll also talk about the spring decorations. We'll figure out how much money we got. You all come up with your ideas, how you want to do it, price stuff out, bring that to the table, and then, like I said, we'll sit here and put powwow after the Arbor Day stuff, and we'll crunch numbers and figure out what we can afford. I guess which it probably should be, I guess, enough to satisfy whatever you all want to decorate down.
Sounds great.
Any other ideas of things we'd like to do for the year?
We talked about I don't know if it's so much continuing ed as it is just, some type of workshop. Did we ever follow through? I think we were gonna, I think they were saying we're gonna
And
touch
she'll be
bases
here
with
next
Brandy.
month.
I think that's like I fell through the cracks due to the fact that I think it was advertised to you all and never really got much of a response. And that was all kind of just based upon Alamance County Appearance Commission Tree Boards, getting those people together, getting somebody to come talk. And I just don't think it ever came to fruition. Because I guess the response wasn't there, or maybe there wasn't a lot of interest, I guess, not even maybe on this end, but other ends as well from other areas. So maybe that could be a topic of discussion that we can bring up next month, and we'll reach out to her and make sure she knows that this is something you all want to do, or maybe she can get back to kind of looking into that, or orchestrating it. Maybe that's something we'll take over here. So, but like I said, if you see stuff online that you think is good learning material, then by all means bring that forward, and we'll work it up the food chain here and see if we can get money for you all to participate. If it's free, then it's free, and you just bring it up, say there's this free meeting that you can go to on behalf of the tree board. I think we would all be beneficial to go. It's at XYZ at XYZ time. I invite you all to come, but I won't be there. Or if it does cost something, then that's something we run up to city council, or even it could be something as small as just going to the manager's office and asking if we can have that.
And Miss Fawcett, I don't know who has her files, but she had a session that was scheduled in Elon that appeared to be a very, it was like maybe a 4 hour all day or
I
something.
believe that was advertised to you all as well. I mean, I think you mentioned something about unicorns, so I don't know if that's something that's recurring now or not, if it's just one time thing.
I don't know, that's what I was asking. Was it a one-time thing or something that like, which that would be reoccurring? But I did sign up to go, but then it was canceled.
Just doing that, I guess, we only have what we have at our disposal, which is mostly just the planning listserv, and sometimes they'll come up there, training stuff wise, so that's about all that we have at our disposal, and some other stuff that may come through. But yeah, Tim might have some stuff on his end, because I know once the Arbor Day stuff kicks back up, I'm sure they'll ramp all their other stuff up too. So.
Okay. I'll just put down Mary Fawcett.
Yeah, and she's no longer with the city, so I don't.
No, I was just thinking somebody may have some archive files or me, because it was planned. It was a planned event, so it should be some paperwork somewhere.
I don't know. Your idea, yeah.
We had also thought, getting the flowers and different things when we would do the park area. If, flowers, if we could go through the, horticulturist, isn't there a new lady or something that's doing it?
Yeah.
Where instead of us finding if they could get I think they even bought us an extra, well, some of the bales of hay were stolen, so I think they got a couple of those. So is that something, there's various things if we needed some, and I'm just asking, I have no idea, I'm just thinking.
What is exactly that you're asking?
In other words, if we needed like flowers when it comes time in the spring and stuff, putting things in baskets or whatever, if they could, yes, we would pay for it, but do we need to buy it on our own? Or do they get better prices on the flowers if we needed to buy them?
I don't
Can
know.
we deal
They
with
who?
them to ask?
I think they're from
Where
ACC.
exactly, you're talking about buying flowers, where exactly are you talking about putting these flowers, like in
It was
city
not-
areas? Because I mean, she's already pretty much taken care of all the maintenance and stuff in all these different areas. So, you know, if you're looking to buy flowers for something, I'm sure that that could probably be discussed. I mean, I don't know what kind of order.
We're talking about like the hanging baskets and things. And
all
also-
that stuff is in the city as well.
Yeah.
so
Well,
it's
the
not
city is
exactly
beautiful
all
in the
city,
spring.
Mhm.
Funds, and she probably handles the maintenance of all those things as well. And I know that's been an ongoing discussion regarding, you know, these hanging baskets, but all of that would fall back on the city public works.
That's what I'm asking, what is,
Y'all want us to be, wants to pitch the idea of like we, as the parents commission, think that this would be by the area down
Mhm.
here. We think the city should use these funds to install these. So,
right? But also they don't put a lot of flowers out. In other words, and these big, planters they have, they may put, what was it, about 6? And they're very scariest.
Yeah.
Because I had to, well, didn't have to, but I used the leaves and different flowers I had to fill it up.
Yeah, you need to take into account whether those planters are private planters as well. There's some businesses downtown that have those planters outside that they own.
That's what I'm saying. In other words, so where do we go for that? Just to go to,
That's gonna be the business's regards of whether or not they put. those
okay,
in
so you
or
can't,
not.
the city doesn't have a list of what their planters are?
I mean, I'm not entirely too sure what our planners are, but I know there are some down there that are privately owned.
That's Tim. We have to get Tim.
Yeah.
How are the,
Okay, then, well, I'll just go to the doors and ask.
how are like the murals downtown done? Like how did those happen?
The people that, the businesses that have you talk like the woman on the, Comments News and all that,
Yeah,
they have to come to the city and ask if they can, hang it and give us an idea of what they're gonna do and present it, and get the permission and all that kind of stuff, sometimes through the historic commission too.
Yeah, they have to come to the Historic Resource Commission and then,
Yeah.
Get a
because I love.
COA. stuff like that.
Usually generated by
Business owner.
business
Mm.
itself.
Okay,
Yeah, they come to the city council and ask for the historic commission.
Mhm. To get approval.
Into the city.
They go in front of the historic resource commission. They have a
Gotcha.
lot of paper COA. Pretty much the recent one you've seen over there, Element News is one that, the historic resource commission funded as a half their facade grant program.
That's correct.
and like the shed by the police department, is that like something similar or is that like, you know, like the one painted with flowers by the,
I don't
Library.
remember seeing,
Outside of-
yeah,
Everything you
That's
see
not the
downtown is
store.
covered by the historic resource
Right.
commission.
Okay.
If it's not in the public right of way, outside of that area, then that's complete private property.
private property.
So I mean, you see how the Children's Museum has some of the flower decoration stuff, surrounding some of the HVAC
Yeah.
stuff. so
And-
that's
and-
complete private.
like behind the library and stuff? Is that the like the dragon and stuff?
That's
Behind the
Arts
library?
Council.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Arts
Oh.
Council.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
We need to do on social media, I would think. Don't you think it's time for us to do something for social media for spring? But I was thinking the correct way to trim crepe myrtles is always that's something, Evan, that we could if we come up with like a brochure kind of thing, I guess would be, or just something on social media for the spring. Well, I guess we need to really do it in February because that's
Mhm.
when crepe myrtles get trimmed is in February.
Yeah, it's something you guys could look into and discuss. Bring whatever you find back to the meeting in next month. And
I-
kind of come up with a plan and then we can try to post it on social media or maybe,
I'll just send it to you then.
yeah, we can talk to Jeff and they'll post it on Facebook,
Okay. Jeff?
the IT guy,
What's his last name?
Wilson.
Have we always had an IT guy?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
See, that's the, rough part is, I don't think any of us really have access to the social media.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It used to be somebody handled it, now, no longer, it's kind of fell to the wayside. so
Okay.
now I just pick it up. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And then I had an idea about, Cameron, did you get my email today?
Mhm.
About, yarn bombing and, so we have to ask permission for that. If you all don't know what that is, I don't have anything to show you because you don't have, you can't show that pictures, can you, Cameron?
I can pull it up,
I can
mean,
Google
if you
something.
type in yarn bombing, you might be able to see it.
Mhm.
I sent you some pictures with Aaron and I worked.
Yeah, I saw the pictures, but I also got on Google to make sure that I could pull them up during the email.
Yep.
And I
There you
believe,
go. That might not be the best. I had to use my phone. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there's something there.
So can you explain to all them?
Yeah,
Talk
that,
exactly what,
yeah, that one and the one beside the right is one I sent to you too. So what it is, it's really an artsy thing that you do for the city. Lots of tree boards do it throughout the state of North Carolina. And you can just even invite any of the artists or crafters or if anybody, residents, anybody to come up with something they'd like to show. You can do posts and trees. You can do bicycles. You can do all kinds of things, So first thing you have to do is have permission. So that would be coming from the council will have to give us permission.
Yeah, I don't know how that kind of looks, I think, on behalf of, I don't know if you classify it as like an event, right? If we're gonna classify this as a month-long event where, city pole, because, I mean, even if you're talking about doing the light poles, the city really doesn't even own the light poles. Well, all those are Duke Energy.
No, I didn't,
Like
they're
the
not gonna be
trees
it.
and
Mm-mm.
stuff,
Yeah.
Any bike rack stuff, I mean, I feel like it'd have to get some like special event permit from the council, but I could be wrong. Like I said, that's a discussion that we have to have with Aaron and see what he thinks,
Mhm.
but,
Yeah, I did, and this is how he said do it. He said, send it to him. And he would put it on the agenda and for tomorrow night. And then they would all vote and say, yes, we could do it. And then we could go from there. And that way we didn't have to wait. Sorry, Evan, we wouldn't have to
Oh.
wait So, no light poles, only Centennial Park post. The trees that are in the city, any of the trees in the city, whether in the raised beds or not. Aaron said do the lamp post at City Hall. He thought that would look good. He wanted them on that. And anybody privately, like if, if you own some rails or stairways, you're welcome to do that kind of thing or whatever, because we wouldn't have any jurisdiction over that.
So we can't nail anything.
Yeah, we would have guidelines, of course, Tim's not here,
Mhm.
but there would be some guidelines as far as attaching, as long as there would be no nails and no pin to button them or tie them on or whatever. And we could do it from March 1st to April 1st. And then they could be removed for you all to put your
Spring decoration.
spring, yeah, yeah. I mean, it can coincide with it, of course. And
Was it something that you all as the advanced commission / board are gonna sponsor per se? Like,
I'm just hearing about it.
Yeah, I'm just, it's the first time I've ever heard of it, and personally, I just don't think we have that time. We haven't even gotten through what we need to do, and adding something new right now. Maybe put this on for next year would be okay, but just right now, we're just looking at our calendar and just stating that we don't have enough time to really put in all the ideas that we had
Okay.
tonight. And I just think that you'd have to have some crocheters, you'd have to have people that's gonna be making these things to go around it, and I don't know who we would petition to do that.
Well, that's the
Um,
thing that you extend it. Well, that's what I'm thinking when I saw.
We
the
wouldn't
thing.
do it. It would be like inviting.
we
everyone.
don't do anything.
Inviting the
We don't do
crafters to do
anything
the
but to put
artists.
it in it, but to sponsor it. That's all we do.
Put it in the
And then you would
newspaper.
contact the Twisted Knittery, the Alamance Arts, Trailhead Church has a group. Linda Smith has a group. So, I mean, knots and
Would it be
needles.
like a part of like Arbor Day? Like?
No, no, no.
They
be
just do it
before
on their own.
Yeah.
They go to
We
whatever.
just do it before. And it would just be something to do in the winter to get more people downtown, more interested in the city. But we don't do anything. We don't pay for anything.
I have something to say. So, one, I think that should have came to this board before going to the city. If it was gonna
Yes.
be a board-sponsored initiative, which I'm all about that, hearing about it after it's already gone to the city for consideration and now finding out that it's on tomorrow's agenda doesn't seem like it's very board-focused. It seems very individually driven, which
Yes.
needless to say, if it's board focused, it needs to come and be discussed. I think we all probably have ideas and we get bogged down in these meetings, hearing the same thing over and over again. We probably need to change how we do present stuff. So my recommendation is if that is something you had interest of, as anyone here may have interest, to bring forth a presentation on the agenda to present to your fellow tree board, any of us that want to do this, a proposal so that we can then have the answers, the whole kit caboodle versus seeing a Google image on the screen and not really hearing a whole plan. It will help us work more efficiently as a group.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my 2 cents there. I feel like we're very jiggity jag on things and not very thoughtfully driven in our initiatives.
And I want to piggyback on that, and just because we can't have backdoor meetings, if that's where you want to put it, but you shouldn't approach any town member about anything without presenting it to the board first, because it's this board that will make the decision. It's not an individual decision to be made to present anything to anyone without having come to the board. So I want to, definitely put a point there, is that we have to be very careful how we present ourselves as a board. This is not an individual decision. I don't know anything about this idea, hadn't heard anything about it. And then to hear that you've already spoken with people and they're saying they want it here or they want it there. I think they may have said it would be a good idea if it goes there, but I can't imagine someone just overstepping the board, knowing that we have one in place to make these type of decisions. So I am completely against this idea, and I'm completely against the way that it was handled. And I think we should be collectively thinking about how we present ourselves, because if I have an idea to go hang apples in a tree, And then I just go to someone and say arbitrarily, I want these apples to be hung in the trees. Oh, I like that idea. And I come back to you guys and start dictating, because that's what it sounds like to me. I don't think anybody's going to ride along with me either, because it's not a group decision and we are a team. We should be working as a team.
I agree with you 100%. And I'm glad that y'all have, because ever since we've been here, we've all done things individually. It's like someone goes to Jennifer or whatever. And I think starting as of right now, it needs to be put down. Everything comes through here, and Carmen or whoever the president is the only one that presents it to. the
Talk in your
town.
mic, Miss Linda, because we can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I have it on, I'm sorry. But I think that, starting forward, whether we discuss everything and Carmen be, or whoever the president is the only one that addresses it to the town
Once it's been
then
decided by
after
this
has-
board.
by here. And we all discuss it together
Yes.
on everything and become a complete whole, be a team. And I think that would be perfect,
Yes, ma'am.
or as good as we can get it. And that way, everybody's on the same page.
Yes.
If I could just for just a second, from what I'm hearing from Cameron and what I know as well, it's not confirmed that it's on the agenda for city council tomorrow. It may just be something that, that Mr. Holland brings up as a staff comment. From what I saw from the email chain, it looks like Ms. Hall was just checking to see if it was something that you
If
guys
it's a
could even explore.
possibility.
But
So-
that's not what was stated. I'm just only going
Right.
off what was just
And I understand,
stated,
and that's why I'm stepping in just to say,
not on the agenda.
from what I saw
No,
when we got the email today, it just sounded like she was putting an idea out to make sure she wouldn't have to check with historic, right, to make
Yeah.
sure she wouldn't have to go in front of,
Because
to see if she'd have to go in front of the HRC, to see if Mr. Tim would have any comments about the trees, and to see if Brian at Parks and Rec would have any comments himself. So
we haven't seen the email. So if you can pull the email up and let us all see the email so we can all have our opinion about what was actually said and what's the intentions were. I think that would be great.
right,
So we can all be privy to the information.
You can make a public record request. I mean, we're getting in the weeds,
Yeah.
but I do think this is helpful because there's some dysfunction and it's clearly seen by anyone that watches. So in that situation, what is the city's advice of how that should be handled? Should that particular member, Cheryl, Bernadette, whoever, take their idea to Carmen and Carmen bring that forward via an email, copying everybody on the account, on the commission? Or how should that
And-
be done? What is the right way of doing that?
this is still, we're just looking at the calendar right now,
Mhm.
right? Like we're
Yeah.
just, we're pitching ideas. I don't think we have to like go through all that to
So-
pitch ideas in
I think
January.
the thing to ask here would be, are you guys interested in discussing this further?
Right.
at
That's
like a
the only
February
question
meeting,
right now.
And maybe there is a formal presentation brought in front of you guys, and you guys can say no, or you guys can say yes, and then it goes from there.
Let me add something. Okay.
You're talking about procedure-wise.
Yes.
Bring stuff up.
If someone has those questions, like, is the city going to approve this? And those are fundamental questions when you potentially are making a proposal to this board. I've checked with the city, this is allowed, this need to go through this commission, whatever. How should that person gain that insight properly? Like, what is the proper protocol in that
Well, it
manner?
Sounds like here in the process is, the question was asked if this was something that we could do, what is the process for us to be able to do this? The response was, we need to talk to X, Y, and Z, we need to check with the planning department about this. And that was the full extent of it. In the
Mhm.
email, I don't think there was anything mentioned that I received about going to our city council. I don't know what that's all about. I'm not here to.
No.
That's where I'm understanding.
Mhm.
And it seems like the position was made by her to see what we had to bring up at this meeting tonight. Because it was asked in the December meeting, for everybody to brainstorm, do your homework, bring up stuff that we can talk about. But there's not a specific agenda item to talk about tonight. Because the question was posed to y'all, what do you want to see us do this year? Bring that stuff to January. Here we are. Even though, I mean, it's not going in front, it seems like we can ask the question of what we may need to do here. And honestly, I think it's always the utter miscommunication.
And and I think that it probably is. I think there's miscommunication in words said, but in order for us to have a playing level field here, should that, I mean, because what if Bernadette wants to bring something? Should she reach out to the city directly? Or should that, like, at what level is proper? Maybe this board needs to establish so that we all feel that we're
I would,
playing
if you
by the
guys want to
rules.
gather information, that's awesome. I
We
would
can
love
gather
that.
information. Gathering information is one thing, but going directly to a city, going directly to the city without having presented it to the board is just where I'm saying, what is proper protocol? And that just does not seem proper because we should not want to be reaching out and having discussed it amongst ourselves. If we are team players and we're a commission and we're working together hand in hand. I don't think that the city wants to be bombarded with everybody coming and saying, well, I have this idea and I have that idea. We need to discuss what our ideas are. We need to channel them through this board. And then from there, we will make a decision of whether or not if this is something the board even wants to entertain. If we say yes to that, then I think it should be passed to you as the chair. And then you as the chair would go make a presentation to whomever that it affects. But we shouldn't just all just think that we could just reach out and go kind of like over our heads. It's just not proper to
But
me.
we are all members.
Mhm.
I mean, we're all
Saying
on
that-
this commission.
I think we put out the rules, so, for the commissions and the committees for a reason. I mean, there's a chain of command that should always be followed. And you guys all know what that chain of command is. So when you're brainstorming an idea or somebody will say, Bernadette, come up with an idea or, you know, like Judy did or whatever. I don't think it hurts anything to, you know, do some information gathering within the city. I think the important thing would be to share that information with your entire board. In other words, if you're gonna send in some questions, copy everybody.
That's exactly
I think
right.
that's really the good practice here, is to talk to one another and make
Oh,
sure
Cameron's
everybody knows that you're asking this question. And that there's no question about what was said.
We can't go about having discussions with each other via email. This is an appointed board where we have to follow the rules of having meetings inside of this meeting area. So, you know, somebody sends an email and we reply all, the first thing I respond to is saying, please try not to respond to all. We're breaking up the meeting records. So we can't just copy everybody outside of the meeting and bring them to one consensus on, I did this, what do you guys think? Because you can't, because that's us having a meeting outside of the current meeting.
That's why it should not be an email until we get to the meeting. Once we get to the meeting, we can establish what the email contents will be about. Then once we decide that is okay with the
I
board,
feel like we'll never be able to
then
talk
we
about
can-
anything then.
then we can go, well, in the sense in which it's been carried out before. That's right. We shouldn't be allowed to do anything.
Okay, can I please speak?
Yeah.
Carmen and I have been working on this for months and we tried to talk to you all about this in the fall, but it was such a chaotic meeting. We weren't able to get another work through and she decided that we would not discuss it at that meeting. We'd bring it back in January. She has been on top of this the whole time. She has been a part of this the whole time. She has given me permission to gather information. And it was all gathering information. And I wish you all would bring some ideas. That would be really good. We do need to get some new things done and some new things for the city. It was only an idea. I was trying to tell you where we were. We tried to find out if we could even do it. So we don't waste our time, whether we're allowed to even do it. And if we're allowed, fine. If we're not, that's fine. That's all we are at right now. That's it.
It's honestly discouraging to me to even consider spring decorations at all when we
Absolutely.
can't do anything.
Absolutely. It's just.
Every
divisive.
time it's just,
So divisive for no reason.
I feel like we overcomplicate things rather than just going straight forward.
We'll just nix it.
Okay.
Y'all come up with your own ideas and do it the way you want to do it.
I feel like what you're getting at is that you don't do your thing, you do this thing, but at the end of the day, it's still in appearance. So you all are still wanting, and if it wants to be outlined, you know, I think, Bonnie mentioned, you know, it seems like whenever we look through these rules, it's that we all signed off on, mentioning a chain of command. I mean, there is a chain of command here where it's either brought to me and then brought to department. In this case, it was brought to the city and asking what we need to do. And I think just the aspect of it here is the chart was to figure stuff out from December to now. And that's kind of where we're at. An idea came up from then until now, I guess it's already thought about in the past. And now we have an open floor where we're not having specific agenda items talking about what we're going to do here. This come up, a little bit of insight has been gathered prior to about what it takes to do something like this. That doesn't mean it's dead set. I think it was brought up to see if there was support for something like this. And like I said, I think words crossed, something was said that shouldn't have been said. People step back, let's just take a step back and let's just think of it as the barn or barn blowout as a topic of discussion right now, and whether you 6 people would think that would be something that you all would like to see either discussed on this list right now, or you want to talk about further about setting a potential date for this. If you want to put it on February agenda to talk about it a little bit further and allow Ms. Judy to get some time to get something together to show you all, then let's do that. And I think we're getting way off topic on what we're really here to do tonight, and it's to set stuff to talk about throughout this new year.
And that's fine. We can set stuff to talk about throughout the new year, but we also need to establish and understand clearly what protocol is. And our whole statement is not that it's not a good idea for her to go out and reach out, but it was a better idea when she comes to the board. So everybody is on board. Everybody is aware of what your ideas are. So we can support or not support, but to just be pretty much given the sense that this is what's happened and we don't know what's going on. We would
think
love
we're
to
trying
support
to
it, but
move on.
what we're trying to do
We don't
is
need to
that
ramble on
it's
about
just
this
to-
any longer.
Okay,
One way I
Yes, it has.
It's 7 o'clock.
do all
We haven't done a lot.
so
Totally.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just come to the board.
Why not on? in
We're fine.
Okay.
We can vote on it.
presentation,
Yes, just,
okay,
yeah.
so that is added.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun. I don't,
And some color.
it's very much like Alamance art style and Graham. I think there's nothing wrong with the idea.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's added in February.
Yeah. And we've gone down the rabbit.
Yeah. Okay,
And if nobody does it, nobody does it.
if you guys
The invitation.
move to add it to February, then you will discuss it then and decide what you want to do with it
Sounds
then.
good.
And so we could, is that okay with everybody to add it to February
Yes.
and discuss it next month? Is there anything else that you guys see?
Yarn
Bombing.
bombing.
Yarn bomb.
Or as
Yeah,
Cameron
wow.
said, blowout.
Is there any other items that grab anybody's attention? Or for next month, we're gonna add, along with Arbor Day, let's
We-
talk
we-
about spring and yarn bomb is what I have down.
Well, no, we had spring decorations, educational courses that we're supposed to
Okay.
touch bases on.
Yes, ma'am, sorry
And
about that.
so now we're adding yarn bombing.
Yes, yarn bomb. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
Does anybody have any ideas? We knew in December that this is what we were gonna do today.
The idea that we came up with, we continued it to February, and that was the spring decorations. That's what our idea was from this end.
there's not an end or anything
Mhm.
we will all want. I don't know, let's, just continue to move on. We have what we're doing next month. We'll be
Mhm.
back here as a collective and we'll have a good discussion about what we want to do.
My style is I think we can keep things simple. I think that we had a really good year in 2023. I don't think we need to reinvent any wheels.
Mhm.
I think that, yeah,
And of course, I'm
If
sure ideas will come up as we go
As the
along.
year goes
and
on,
that's okay.
yeah.
All about bandwidth.
A whole lot every year. I mean,
right.
You know, during the spring and the fall and then.
Maybe we can switch off.
Bombing or something like that. that's a pretty good year, you know, we don't have to have something.
Every
month or
season.
Every season, you know. But it can be changed out as we go.
I'll tell you, compared to what it sounded like whenever I first started here, I believe before we all met was, it kind of, there wasn't much going on with the appearance commission / tree board. So you can see, to you all's, benefit is, there's been a lot that's changed since I started here about the stuff that you all done. So I just like to commend you for everything that you all do and the constant push to, want to do more and also want to come together and decide on that. So, I'll leave it on that note. Arlen, if you
Yep.
want any-
Are there, is there a way that we could, I mean, I have ideas, but we don't have the time nor the, patient, no, no, we don't. I worked all day. But like a way that we could all just send Carmen a list and then that could be part of our agenda packet for next month where we get it in a couple days in advance.
I mean, yeah, I think we can definitely do that, but because this was the time.
I know.
To do it.
Bear down and discuss a lot of things. We got in our bar head. And listen, that happens all the time. It's perfectly fine. And yes, we can do that and we can look at it next month. We'll have a stacked agenda. We'll probably be here. Everybody's ready to come.
Mhm.
Talk. Let's have a great time. And
Well, we have all there, this committee, council, commission has a lot of opportunity. And I think this right here might have been the low point, but we can only go up from here. So I think it's okay. I mean, there are a lot of things that other tree boards do that we're not doing at all. Some are very easy to implement, but it may not be of appetite for this board. You know, they pick a tree of a year or they do this or they do that. We talked about a stream cleanup or a park cleanup. We've talked about we've just never really gotten the bandwidth. So I think we need to prioritize with a whole list of things where we have it together. It's hard when you get in these conversations because we're only able to talk in here as a totality. I know there's lots of side conversations. I'm not part of any of those, but that's okay. But it's hard in here because then you get stuck in the weeds. You talk about fall decorations for 20 minutes. So that's really it's hard. But if you can see it and you get passionate about one or two things, and we would have saw the yard bombing thing on that list, we would have been better prepared today to have that conversation. So I think that's where it's just mutual respect to where, not that it was disrespectful today, I'm not saying that, but I think it allows us to work more productively for the little time that we have, and we all get behind the same purpose here. Like, that's what we're here for.
You emailed me today. My email is always open.
Yeah, but with that idea, I mean, I wasn't at December's meeting, but that idea did not get put on anything. Like, that's the piece. If you and I get it, Cameron, I see you shaking your head at me, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's really easy to come here and you hear about these things. It's impulsive, right? You don't have time to research. I'm a researcher. That's what I do. I want to go and be proactive about things. Oh, what does that look like? Who could be involved? What cost is associated with that? Are there other ideas? Oh, heck crap. I've already given this idea A+, but Bernadette has a B, but then you spend 30 minutes talking about this and you don't feel like you have the opportunity to talk about everything. That's just where I stand.
I'll leave it at this. It could be just a downfall on my end, because I didn't really give much of any guidance as to, what you all need to prepare coming into the meeting. And I will take the blame for that, being that I didn't tell you that you need to bring me a list or send me a list before the meeting on everything you want to talk about, and we'll put it on the agenda and talk about it tonight. And maybe that's how we should approach this. And like we're talking about, we're learning, we're understanding all this stuff. But at the end of the day, stuff's going to come up as well that, might not be thought about until 15 minutes before. Stuff like that. I mean, we got the addresses of the firm that was on the way here. Can we make things work? And, like I said, I'm amenable to understanding, how this stuff kind of goes on. And I understand that I probably made that mistake. I mean, that I should have probably helped address it a little bit more. And that's okay. So like I said, we learn, we move on, and people like we have an idea of where we want to go from here. If we want to bring this discussion up again next month, I charge you all, like you said, to create a list of things that you might want to see, plug it into this, and we'll just continue this discussion. And if you want to ask for a motion to table this, then let's do that, because probably what we'll do is, whenever we get this thing finalized, we'll just, we'll approve it as, you know, kind of our calendar moving forward. These are our meeting dates to be determined if we have to meet on any of these dates from outset. That'll be kind of our outline for the rest of the year and how that's gonna look like. I guess our yearly agenda we could do every year is that we'll approve the yearly agenda and if things come up, we need to add something on there, bring it up, you know, either shoot me and copy Harlan or shoot Harlan and copy me, that would be all stuff. But I think we're at Portland Road, we need to take a lot of time. So, let's just reconvene and let's get this stuff together. I'm gonna pick out the rest of the month after Christmas. So I think we know what we gotta do and we can kind of keep on going. So I'm always available. Whatever y'all need, I don't always.
Excuse.
And we're volunteers. I appreciate everyone using their free time for this. It does take time to do this stuff, and thank you.
There's been a lot of work, like I said, I've been involved with draw.
Yeah. Okay. May I get a motion to table the calendar as presented?
I motion.
I make a motion that we table the calendar as presented and that we put on the agenda for February for the tree. Just table it,
Yeah.
the event to next meeting.
May I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 We will now hear updates from city council. Are there any?
Yeah, do not have any for you.
Thank you. Any staff updates?
Thank you, guys.
All right, I make a motion. Oh, may I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
A motion.
Motion adjourned at 7:06 PM.
Ooh.